All right, we're going to learn the process of finding that side seam. So we have to be able to like split the body in half from the front to the back and find appropriately where this side seam is going to be. Now, a lot of times when you make a pattern and you're drafting it from scratch, they'll usually have you take your like waist measurement and then they'll say divide it by 4. But I kind of find that to be inaccurate because in the end, when you actually sew up your muslin, your trial skirt, they're going to have you kind of eyeball it and find the center, so that it looks nice and vertical to the ground. So I've kind of made this method up myself. I don't know that it's out there anywhere. It possibly could be, but so I've just come up with this myself to get that perfect center line separating your front pattern from your back pattern. So the first thing that we have to do is find where is the center of our underarm here. Okay, so now on your doll, you're going to conveniently have a line which splits your doll in half from the front to the back. So if you're working with a doll, you can do that. But if you're working on a real person, when you kind of move your arm up and down, you're gonna feel like a indentation. Just kind of put your finger there and you'll feel an indentation right where your body meets your arm, and that indentation is your exact center point up on your shoulder where your arm meets. Okay, so I've got my string here and I've taped the starting part of the string right to the center point where my doll has already an existing line there. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to just wrap it under her arm and bring it right back up to where the other piece of string, where your starting piece of string meets. Make sure that it's going completely around that underarm way up high, and it just is perfectly placed. Okay, and then bring the string to the top, and you're just going to go ahead and have it meet right at where it began, and then I'm just going to take a little pair of scissors here and snip it off. Bear with me as I get this pair of scissors under here. Okay, let me make sure I got this correct. Okay, just, I'm just going to hold it to the starting point, and my string kind of got lost under her arm because I'm moving her arm back and forth, and that's pretty typical with dolls. But okay, so she's got this string going all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it off, and I'm going to find the center point of that string. So just fold it in half. Try to be very precise. And this is so small and fiddly, I'm probably going out of focus a lot. Okay, and there's my center point. And I am going to mark that, if I can get it folded good enough. Okay, I'm kind of trying to put a crease in there. And I'm just going to take, oops, sorry about that. I knocked my camera. Okay, and I'm just going to take a piece of paper here and just mark that center point. I want to make sure I'm still even at the top. Okay, and just kind of pull down and I'm just pulling down, and I'm just marking, trying to get like a pen mark on that center point there. Okay, and that is going to mark your center. You see that little tiny dot on that thread? Okay, back to our doll. We're going to retape. Make sure when you're putting this on your tape that it's going exactly horizontally across there. Okay, and I'm going to retape it back to where I can see that little line on her. Oh, it's so tiny. She's so tiny to work with. Okay, and then I'm just going to have that go all the way around, meeting back to the starting point. And you guys can go ahead and tape that down on this. Once you get it to meet at the starting point, just go ahead and tape it. And oh, my string is getting lost, but you should be able to see. Let me see if I see. Anytime you move your doll's arms, it pulls the string in there. So let me pull this back out. See how with your doll it gets caught in there? Okay, so make it come around, and well, would you believe that? Can you see that? That dot landed exactly where that halfway point is marked on her body. Can you see? Okay. Trying to get this in focus for you to see it. See my dot and see where that seam line is that splits her body in half. That's exactly where my dot landed. Okay, and so that is how you are going to find your center point on your underarm to get a center side seam here that is very accurate. And again, on a real person, you find that center seam right at the shoulder, right where you'll feel an indentation when you pivot your arm up and down. You'll feel an indentation, like a little dimple there. Okay? All right. And we'll move on to getting our side seam measurement all the way down from the armpit all the way down to her ankle.